So I would like to talk a little bit about banking and funding of science fiction movies and documentary films on aliens, technology, robots, and that kind of thing. Um, People have to realize that for these movies to be produced, these ideas were presented from a pitchman to a banker, and the banker funded these projects. And a lot of documentary film is funded by the government. If you notice at the credits at the end, a lot of scientists are consulted for these movies. A good example of persuasion that was done by documentary films is the persuasion needed for the layouts of cities and conversion of cities to move the industrial areas to separate areas from the living areas. Okay, when the Industrial Revolution first occurred, you had the industrial areas. People wanted a short commute. You hop out of bed, you would go to the coal burning electric plant, in the town square. And it took a lot of convincing to put the industrial areas far away from the housing areas. And this was done through government-funded documentary film. So this is what's going on with these alien films, technology, robotic films. It is being funded, and it is true, there's probably someone saying, oh, this is for the public good, for this film on aliens. At the time, it's probably all the information that they had. So some of the science fiction films about aliens were panicked because they were panicking. Okay, so there's been a release of like the WOW signal. People know that signal was detected from the center of the galaxy. Time magazine had an article once where they listed 7 possibly SETI signals. Okay, there has been a article in a scientific journal where there's 243 stars with possible signal intelligence. Okay, now this gets into the subject of what we're expecting all along. You can see where, people are wondering, well, why does it take them so long? I mean, as soon as we had the first large-scale metal forge, we should have been building the Death Star. We should have an Imperial Star Destroyer sitting in orbit right now when we discovered the WOW signal. Where is it? Now there's 243 WOW signals. Where is it? I mean, we're completely defenseless. There's no Death Star, there's no Star Destroyer. We don't even have the Millennium Falcon around there to save us. you can imagine. So there's a room in the Pentagon for the WOW signal. This is the team that is going to forge the treaty with the civilization behind the WOW signal. There's an office there. There's a lawyer, and there's a way to, trying to threat assessment of that star. Right now, there's 243. So there's going to be an office for extraterrestrial threat assessments for Civilization 1. And the lawyer for that team. Then there's extraterrestrial civilization, number 2, 3, all the way to 243, okay? There's not enough lawyers in the world to make all those treaties. So here we are. What is being done? And people we knew, were saying, well, they were not believing that every star had planets. And it took a lot of convincing that the stars there had planets. There are so many planets that are habitable for life that you could put one person in the world on every planet that's habitable for life out there. There's going to be a lot of planets that are habitable. The numbers are starting to come in now. There's 240. So you're saying they're still using electromagnetic radiation in the form of AM radio that we're detecting. Okay, that's 243 civilizations in the 1930s that we've detected. So many light years away. So that's when they were there, right? What are you going to do now? Okay, so it went from one WOW signal, and then if you really dug deeper, Time magazine found 7 over the history of astronomy, which goes way back. The Chinese were making notations of supernovas, long time ago. Okay, so now it's 243 WOW signals. There is not enough offices at the Pentagon to have a lawyer making a treaty and a team of scientists making a threat assessment for each of those intelligence signals. Now they're overrun with intelligent civilizations. We don't have a fleet of spaceships. We don't have a Death Star. We don't have an Imperial Star Destroyer. At the moment where we could have made a steel beam, 100 foot long, we should have been building an Imperial Star Destroyer somewhere. We should be building Imperial Star Destroyers on Mars. It has less gravity. And you could throw it off like a paper airplane from Mars. Building an Imperial Star Destroyer, it would be easy. A foundry on Mars. Look at all that minerals they have over there. There's an alloy you could probably come up with on Mars and make an Imperial Star Destroyer on Mars. So that's what's going on. And, I've been at I was just at an alien con where I just got out of a seminar with extraterrestrial law. And that's eye-opening, in itself.